Hey everybody, welcome back to Adam's Analysis, where we talk all things basketball. Today we find ourselves talking about what the Celtics can do in this 2021 offseason to become a championship contender. We all know that Boston's a perennial all-star team, full of their young core, but what can they do to get the extra push and to become a contender for the trophy this year? With the recent news of Kemba Walker being traded to OKC, the Celtics now find themselves in a pretty interesting position. First, though, we gotta delve into what exactly Boston got in return for Kemba. The Celtics received former teammate and veteran, and frankly, probably the best locker room guy they've ever had, Al Horford, along with a 21-year-old center, pretty promising in Moses Brown. Along with these two pieces, they also received a second-round pick in the 2023 draft. Unfortunately, however, for the Celtics and, pretty good for OKC, the Celtics had to surrender their first round pick in this year's draft, which was, I believe, pick 16. Is it in here? Yeah, I believe it was the 16th pick. And they also lost a pretty less impactful second round pick in 2025. All in all, though, I would call this trade pretty mutually beneficial. A young OKC team led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Lou Dort are now bringing in 3 first round picks in this year's upcoming draft. Kemba Walker can do something to facilitate their offense a bit and be a veteran leader for a team lacking pretty much any experience. Moses Brown is a pretty promising big man as well for the Celtics because he's 7'2" and has shown small glimpses of great potential through his first 2 seasons in the NBA. He even had a game against the Celtics where he dropped, I believe, 16 points and 18 boards in the first half, which had only ever been done previously by Shaq. But the biggest move, I would say, that people aren't looking at directly throughout this whole trade is going to be the cap space that Brad Stevens has now cleared up for free agency. Getting rid of Kemba's unfavorable contract for Horford's pretty atrocious one saves $9 million in cap hit for the Celtics and will essentially make the Celtics a much more desirable place for free agents to land. Now, what can the Celtics exactly do to make their season next year a success? Because we all know that they're going to make the playoffs like they do pretty much every year. Simply put, the front office needs to build around their 2 25-point-per-game scorers in Jason Tatum and, of course, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown being back from injury from his wrist will definitely be something to see if he can hold his own still. Luckily, this trade is already exhibiting that Brad Stevens kind of plans on running the offense through these two, because you're getting rid of Kemba Walker, which is, a lot of touches in your offense. This team could definitely use a main shot creator, though. I mean, not to steal touches from JT and JB, but you need someone who can dish out to these two and still be able to succeed in the pick and roll. Along with this addition, I believe you need to start Marcus Smart at the 2 and hope he can develop a more consistent outside shot. With the new addition of Moses Brown, some larger lineups can definitely be run as well. You could have Marcus Smart at the point, Jaylen at the 2, Jason at the 3, Robert Williams at the 4, and Moses at the 5. It'll be interesting to see who they acquire as a new head coach as well, having Brad Stevens move to the front office. Because this squad certainly aren't at all in their prime with their young age, but you got a few guys like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown who are just on the brink of exploding into superstars in the NBA. Whoever can fix this team and get rid of their 21st in the league pacing will definitely have a win-ready core in their hands. We'll just have to see. And if we go into contracts here, we can find that Kemba Walker obviously was being paid another over $70 million for the next 2 years, guaranteed. And if we click here into player contracts, we see that Kemba Walker is actually the 12th highest contract in all of the NBA. Which, I mean, if you're a Celtics fan, like myself, you could probably assume that's a pretty bad thing because Kemba Walker was not playing like even a top 40 player, I would say, last year. I mean, obviously barring injury, and he wasn't exactly utilized correctly. So it's a little bit of the fault of Celtics coaching and, his own body for getting injured. Obviously, it's not his fault. But yeah, his 12th contract is definitely not acceptable for a team that's ready to win now with a player who's not exactly helping them do that. And then we got another interesting point is what will happen with Evan Fournier. I believe that the Celtics could really use Evan Fournier as another signing, because I think it's pretty likely he'll re-sign. I don't know if he was too happy in Boston, because obviously he was having a bit of a down year. But I mean, it would be great for the Celtics to have a two guard that they could rotate with such great outside shooting. You know, if we're looking by proxy of his career, maybe not last year, but we can still check him out. What did he do for the Celtics last year? What did he shoot? Wow, he shot 46% from three. So I mean, you know, can't be too mad at that at only 6 attempts a game. That's definitely not too bad. You know, he averaged 13 points a game, but before that, you know, you had him at 20, 17, 19. Yeah, definitely a bit of a down year, but his shooting splits were pretty great still. So I think it'd be a huge addition if the Celtics could re-sign him. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any comments on what you think the Celtics need to do for this year's push. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy.